Welcome in, everybody. The Kansas City Chiefs are off the schneid, get the W, and all it took was one Xavier Worthy and a broke-down, beat-up Baltimore Ravens squad, but they got it done. Welcome in. This is RTR Football Live post-game. We're going to break it all down for you. The offense got right, and hopefully they're going to stay right. Dan, welcome in. We did not get a chance to check beforehand. I'll make sure you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. We're good to go on this end, you guys. Welcome in. And this is what it feels like. I know the Ravens defense had some injuries. They didn't have the best time out there, but things that we talked about that have been ushered in tones across RGR for years now, for the first 3 weeks of the season came to fruition today. A lot of those things came to fruition today, and we are going to be making some victory laps. I'm just going to say I'm going to be doing it. I don't know about Ryan, but I'm going to be doing it.
Oh, they ran counter. They ran the ball purposefully. Maybe it wasn't as many touches for the running backs as last week, but they ran purposefully. They ran things that we've been talking about. They got slant action going. They scored on one of those. They got everybody involved. And this is by no means to make it sound like, oh, they got Xavier back and everything's fixed. It's not. One player didn't make that difference, but Xavier brings a lot to the table.
Yep.
This time they actually had a spread out plan. If his plays had not really taken off, they were still able to commit themselves. They practiced enough this week to run the ball effectively. I got to look at the final numbers. You might have them in front of you, but just a quick announcement. Yes, the Chiefs got the W. I hope you guys are willing. Well, the Raiders just lost.
They did. Blocked field goal.
Blocked. So here's to the Bears. My mom would be super happy. She was a Bears fan. And you had the Chargers go down, so you got to feel pretty good about that. Now, this was a day for Patrick Mahomes, 4 touchdowns, 270 yards, scrambled effectively, but didn't have to use his legs to get it done. 5 yards of carry for Isaiah Pacheco. It was only 7 touches, but it was working. And at times, Kareem Hunt certainly looked like the short yardage back, only 2.6 per carry, but he was getting the needed firsts that they had to have. And I want to ask you this before we get to all your questions. I know you guys have a ton of questions. Super chats absolutely get an answer tonight, and we'll cover the rest of your topics as well as going through both of our notes. But I'm all for Xavier being back and using him. But were you happy with the run touches? Because I thought he was going to get walloped a couple of times. I was a little nervous.
You could tell they told him to get down sometimes, but also they let him get hit. Like the fact that they were like, You're going to get hit. We want you to see how you feel with it. He's fine. He's fine. Yeah. He's dealing with pain. Like it's all about pain management at this point, which is what we had thought. We didn't know for a fact or not if it was going to be that way, but that's what it is. If you can deal with the pain, you can play through it. He didn't look worse for wear today. It also didn't look like he was trying to run full speed 100% of the time. You saw on the deep routes, he's using some hesitation moves where he was able to just kind of get up to the top of his route, hesitate, and then blow by that DB, which is what he's looking to do. So I was really excited to see that. And the deep ball, the very first connection we saw, it was perfect. Dropped right in the bucket. I know he missed, Patrick missed him a couple of different times as well, but they tried. Like that's what they did. They needed to get the ball down the field, and they did. So I was happy with the run touches because it tells me that they're comfortable with him going out there and putting it on the line to see what happens.
Well, that's what you got to do. At the end of the day, you had to have this. I know we didn't call it a must win, but it was very, very close. This definitely feels like, especially now, don't get me wrong, they're healthier than the Ravens were. The Ravens had problems coming in. They certainly got more banged up in this game. The Ravens are on the ropes. They might not be a playoff team. MVP last year, or MVP candidate last year, Lamar Jackson, might not even get a look this season. And I just want to take this second to remind you all, as dark as it looks on some days for the Kansas City Chiefs and them shooting themselves in the foot, this is a team that has been in 5 Super Bowls. This is a team that no matter what breaks, no matter who gets suspended or you lose or you trade or whatever, they continue to come back and lay it down so they can reinvent themselves around this quarterback and get after it yet again. And I think that deserves maybe more credit than even I have been giving them lately, because I've been pretty frustrated and down on them in recent weeks as well.
Yeah, well, one thing that you guys know we're always going to do is we're going to tell you what's going wrong when it's going wrong. And I'm going to point out something that I had pointed out on the film room a few weeks ago in the play action pass game, where there was no actual attempt to make a real mesh point. There was none. If you watched the play action passes today, Patrick got the football to Kareem Hunt. I'm not going to take credit for it because I know they watch on film, but I was the only person that was pointing this stuff out on film on YouTube, anywhere else. I was the only person doing it. No one cared about the little details. I cared about the little details because those things translate. Also, pointing out how Patrick was not, Travis was not blocking with very much effectiveness, with much effort. What happened today? Effort was there. Effectiveness was there. It was better. So again, I'm not trying to say that this is because I'm pointing it out, but I'm seeing the things that the Chiefs are seeing on tape. We're watching it and we are identifying what they're also identifying and trying to work on. So you might not agree with our takes all the time, and that's perfectly fine because you shouldn't. However, there is no other Chiefs channel out there that is doing what we are doing and showing you the things that they are trying to work on every single week. And now we have proof they are doing that.
Yeah, and you should take credit for it. Travis upped his game. That was one of the nicer things, and low-key, one of the ones that kind of flew under the radar is not only were his cuts, I felt a little bit crisper, his blocks certainly were made with more effort. I felt like the whole offensive line, this was a good day, in my opinion, for Kingsley Suamataia. The guys up front took it on themselves like, oh, our run game sucks, and we're not giving Pat enough time. Yeah. Oh, what's the common denominator there? Yeah, you, O-line. And they took it on their back, and they took care of it. Now, it wasn't Matabike, and it wasn't Matthews. And it honestly, I don't even know if Travis Jones played. I thought he was out. So none of their top three pass rushers on the interior. So still, they had to do what they had to do, and kudos to the offensive line. Yes, we had a little bit of fun, HL. I hope you did too as well. Thundarius, nice to see you. This is the single most relaxing Ravens game of all time, and I'm here for it. Well, you know what? I hope you cracked one because I did. And kudos to my friends and family that are watching the game with me. The Broncos fans are waiting for their game tomorrow night. I can't stress enough, as good as, and we need to talk about this game. This was a good day forward for the division and the Chiefs taking back control of it. So let's remember that as well.
Absolutely.
This is going to be a great post-game stream. Well, William, I hope we can live up to that. So that's what we're working on here. We're going to take your first question. Here's 10 for the dub. Thanks, Metal Rocker. Appreciate you. But this is because the Ravens were wounded on D and Spags and Andy coaching well this whole game, with Andy actually running the ball and giving them more time. Thank the good Lord. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he listened. Now, this is the thing, is Andy will take this lesson and say, well, that's not exactly what happened. And he might go away from it next week. We're going to have to steel ourselves for that. But you're absolutely right. And you're seeing what we're seeing in that the balance there and the threat. I thought the play action was a little bit more effective. I thought that the speed of Xavier, maybe, even though this team has seen him before, maybe the fact that he hasn't been on film for the first 3 weeks threw him off. I don't know. But when you heard he was going to play and he was a full participant on Friday, you should have been prepared. If you weren't, that's on you, John. And Ravens, that's on you. That's the way that it goes. Thanks, Metal. Hawk the Alpha, thank you. And thanks for being one of our dedicated fans. Thornton is worthy of a Hollywood touchdown, right? I love that.
That's a good one.
What was your take on the trio? And don't leave out Juju either.
No, absolutely not. I think, honestly, the touchdowns thrown to Juju Smith-Schuster and Tyquan Thornton were a statement made by Patrick Mahomes. He put them through traffic, and he lasered them in there. That was a confident quarterback standing in the pocket who was willing to stand in the pocket and make those throws. He also saw the holes, and he actually threw it where he needed to throw it. So I like the idea of those three guys. Absolutely. I think Hollywood playing a little bit more sparsely with Juju out there. We know that's going to be the case when Rashee Rice comes back. I think it all makes sense because I think Thornton, at this point, you tell me if I'm wrong, Thornton has overtaken Hollywood Brown when it comes to when Rashee Rice comes back. I think Worthy, Thornton, and Rashee Rice are the three receivers mixed in with Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster that you want to see on the field.
Yeah, and kudos to Nico Romeo to change the return game. He and Thornton were the ones celebrating with each other. Like, you could tell those guys were the guys at the bottom of the group that were pulling for each other, but everybody's contributing at this point. And this is what you want to see from a wide receiver group. This allows you to hold off some of the negative plays that will come. Nobody's going to have a day like this every week, Absolutely. But I certainly won't. I always need some help. And FLDB helped to be out today. We got things sorted with, hopefully we shouldn't be seeing the streamers in here trying to get you to watch some illegal stream and all that. He checked it out in Discord, and Discord's where our members hang out. That's only RGR members. If you want in, you can do that. Just sign up down there below. And Nightbot and Frankie in particular hooked us up. Appreciate you.
Yep.
We have a ton of questions to get to. Big takeaway for you before I get to my couple of takeaways.
Oh boy, Leo Chanel is it, dude. Leo Chanel was everywhere in this football game. That interception was absolutely out of his mind. Also Noah Williams looks really damn good, guys. He looks really good. Again, I'm not going to just sit here and pat myself on the back with some of these calls, but like he looks like a real deal. I think for me the big takeaway here. I understand the Ravens injuries. Every team needs a win like that. A 1-2 team needs a win like that more than every other team. They desperately needed this win. It doesn't matter who it's against. It doesn't matter the injuries you're going up against, and they didn't execute perfectly. Patrick talked about that. We know they didn't execute perfectly. Harrison Butker is something that we will have to talk about for sure because there's concern. He's missing field goals every single week, which is a problem. And when they talk about how his foot wasn't making contact, the one where he missed, it looked like his foot did not make contact properly, and it was obvious to me. So, but overall, this is a momentum and culture building moment for this football team. They're not where they need to be, but when you get that confidence back, and just the fact that Patrick was standing in the pocket, he had time to throw the football today, and he was confident in throwing the football today. He made those plays where he's going back on his feet and he's drifting back on purpose. They weren't because he was, feeling the pressure or feeling fake pressure. It was about he understood the pressure was coming and he knew where to go with the football. Those are the differences in the confidence that he now brings, which I think will definitely build going forward.
And to that same point, Patrick stood in the pocket today much better than he has. He took a couple of hits, but more importantly, he allowed himself to be surrounded with pressure and let his linemen fight them off. Let him stand next to them with their back to him and do their job. And I thought that was a step forward for a quarterback that knows if he has to, especially against a team when you're playing Lamar Jackson and you know that you can run well. Like he could have been tempted to just, oh, you know what? I'm just going to do it myself yet again. But he didn't. And that took some self-control that maybe we haven't seen so far this season. So I thought for Patrick, it was a step forward as well. One of my all-time favorite YouTube handles is our pal Tactics here. Testicular Tactics is back. Thank you for the support, brother. 4th and 1, 13-30, and we can just kick for 3. What's the point of the TD? It's just bulletin material for the Ravens. Yeah, that's fair. And I love the fact that in the glee of getting a W, you're still thinking wholeheartedly about this team and having some criticisms. That's fair. I also would say that not only do I agree with you there, you didn't need to go that far. You also got to shore up some of your backups. Jack Cochran got his butt absolutely destroyed on that 71-yard touchdown, and I'm embarrassed for him. I've been telling you this for a long time. Not ready. I want Bossa at this point. I don't want to see Jack Cochran on the field again if it's not special teams.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. We have been upset about Jack Cochran getting real defensive snaps for like a while now. And when you draft a guy like Jeffrey Bossa, that's what you're hoping for. He can come in and give you some of those. And I know Spags is waiting until the bye week, but in a game like this, get the young man on the field.
You know who did do a good job, though? A backup coming in that I thought put in some great snaps both early and late was CRW. Didn't have quite the impact they did his takeaway the other game, but I thought he was there. Cut off a couple of good runs that could have gone big. I thought he was good in the open field. McDuffie, a couple of nice open field tackles. And even though they did not go with my plan to use Hicks as a spy, Hicks made open field tackles when he had to.
Yes, he did.
And that was the difference. They kept their good players, all few that were on the field, from making them look silly. And I was a little worried about Andrews initially, but they locked that down.
Yeah, they went there early. I like the adjustments that the Chiefs made because they were going to the screen game quickly on the offense for the Ravens, and then they shut that down. Chris gets the batted pass. He understands. I know he wants to get after Lamar Jackson. Who doesn't? You gotta when you're just being let go freely like he was multiple times, you gotta just stop. You got to stop and retrack and figure something else out. But I like that he was able to get his hand on the basket. I actually wrote down where's the adjustment to the screens, and they figured it out a little bit there. You saw guys triggering downhill, tackling very well for the most part. So really nice job from the Chiefs defense in adjusting on the fly.
Yeah. And I can't wait to see the alignments. I have early grades here, and I do want to bring this one up if I can get to it. We did see Chamari Connor only targeted once for 13 yards. I thought he played pretty well. I thought playing in space is his thing. I didn't see a whole lot of man snaps, but I need to go back and double check those. But moving him to where he's available to be who he is, I thought also aided Hicks. I thought it also let McDuffie stay in the slot. And I think that is the way forward, as we've been saying since day one this offseason.
Yeah, that's the big thing here is last week, I think, was the puzzle piece got kind of put back into its spot. You know how sometimes if you knock a puzzle, it gets off and it kind of comes out, right? It's a little crooked. Last week was like, oh, this is supposed to be here, and now the safeties look a little bit better in what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Hanneman, I hope you enjoy that. Nick will be insufferable, but you know what? He has the right, so let him enjoy it. Big shout out to Chris Stewart here. Thank you. Appreciate you. One of our members with the dropping the 50 bomb on us. We appreciate it, buddy. And specifically wants to mention you, Dan. Your assessment on talent has been masterful and looks like he is right again on both Knowles and Royals. Good job. We appreciate you guys, and we appreciate you, Chris. Take your victory lap.
Well, first and foremost, we don't really know much about Royals yet. He's still got some work to do. I love the way he plays the game. We'll find out more as time goes on. But I appreciate you, and I think Noah Williams is going to be a really good player. Like, I really do. I think that's what we're going to see. And I do appreciate the kind words, and that's what we're just trying to give you guys what we see. At the end of the day, that's all we can do. We can watch players, we can watch tape, and we can tell you what we see. And we're not always going to be right. And that's the beauty of this job, is that we get to try to learn on the job. And sometimes we're going to be wrong about players. Sometimes we're going to be right. Sometimes we're going to be right about what they do. So the fact that you guys have stayed with us and wanted to learn more about the game, learn more about prospects, and really, truly given us a platform to help you do that and help us do that is why we do it. So thank you very much, Chris, for being here. And I appreciate Ryan as well. Appreciate the support so much.
And we couldn't do without you, Chris. So thank you, buddy. Very much appreciated. We'll get to Thundarius here. I didn't have Lamar just quitting a game on my bingo card. Player 2 has left the match. Yeah, he didn't look like he was in much pain to me either. I'm not going to speculate about a player of that caliber. Just saying, F it. We ain't going to get this one, so I'm out. But I will be disappointed if that is the case. So we'll just see how it comes down. Kel, at this point in the season, can you give a grade on the left and the right side of the O-line? What O-line players are you impressed with? Well, today, as I'm looking at initial grades and stats here, the only sack given up was by Simmons. Obviously has some challenges there. I would say, honestly, that the left-hand side, and I'm going to leave Creed out of this. As far as I'm concerned, Creed Humphrey is still an all-pro player. I'm not going to count him on each side. But the left-hand side, I would give a B- with no penalties today.
Yes.
I would give the right-hand side a slight edge as a B. Overall, I would say the young guys on the left for the season are at a B. And I would say the right-hand side has been a little bit lower.
I don't really have anything to add to that. I think that it's what it is. The right side hasn't been up to their standard. And granted, I think today was really good for Juwan Taylor. I think he played well. I think that he finally got his head out of his butt, stop with the penalties, stop with the procedural penalties, and just get out there and play. And when he does do that, he's a good football player. I still don't think he's worth the money that he's being paid. So there's nothing that we can really do about that.
I agree. Let's see here. Have we ever seen so many missed blocks or kicks around the league? I don't know. It seems like it's a lot. I absolutely agree with you. In looking at this, Bucker is in my notes as well on the negative side. Like, yes, it was a 56-yarder, but it wasn't particularly close to me. And there's some consistency, and I don't know if it's him. I'm going to call it a special teams problem. I can't blame Winchester. I don't know enough about what they're supposed to be doing on any given kick, but it ain't working consistently enough, and that's the problem. On the other hand, I thought they did a really good job. I was worried D-Hop was going to want a revenge game. He got one big catch, and it was a very good catch up over the top of Noah Williams. It was called back, so in the record book, it ain't there. But that leads me into this question. Other than that catch that D-Hop got the better of him in a jump ball situation, which is D-Hop.
I was pretty sure that was Trent.
Okay, Trent. I had it as Noel, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
Either way, doesn't really matter to me.
Oh, no. You're absolutely right, because it's another note that I have here that he did get a PBU on a pass to D-Hop.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I thought Noel was aggressive, and I thought he was under more control today. What did you see?
That's the young guys. If you guys watched from week 1 to week 4 with the offensive line, you've seen improvement every single week, right? With the young guys, you're going out there, you're playing. The coaching staff wants you to play your game, so they're going to send you out there and say, do what you want, do what you're comfortable with, do what we're asking you to do, and play within the framework of what we're asking. Sometimes with a guy like Noel Williams, he's going to go out, he'd be a little more grabby, he's going to hold here, he's going to try and see what he can get away with, and that's fine. You want that because then you can say, all right, we're in the room now. We're going to show you what to do here in this situation. All right. And now Noel Williams is starting to blanket guys. He's blanketing them. He's literally not letting them get separation. So while yes, it's within the structure of the defense, he's pretty much not being asked to travel, which is fine. He's being asked to play downfield vertical plane. Simplify it a little bit for your guys right now, especially with a young player, a third-round pick, things like that. However, this is the kind of play we were seeing out of L'Jarius Sneed in year 3. Year 3. That is where he's starting, in my opinion. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's not an All-Pro. I think he's starting off at a level that is above average starter quality, and he plays the game the way that the Chiefs want their DBs. He's going to come downhill and wrap up. He's going to come deliver a hit, and he's going to be physical in pass defense. That stuff right there is all you're looking for.
I'm absolutely with you. Like he's going to get there. There'll be ups, there'll be some downs, but he's going to make progress. I want to mention a couple of other players here that I wrote down. But Perry, we covered a lot of the wide receivers, but I will say that when Rashee Rice is back and they have this group of 6, I think they can be a top 10, maybe even a top 5 unit in terms of completion percentage, yards per catch, etc. But that is all dependent on the protection holding up from Mahomes. So that's what I would say. Do you disagree?
Nope. I think you're 100% right on.
Okay, cool. Agree with you, Ryan. We had a better game plan. The offense looked like we actually had options. Our red zone offense still looks suspect as hell, though. And that's a fair criticism. I have that in my notes as well. Is that what was it? The second drive of the second half where they're kind of rolling, but things started to kind of undermine itself. The pass in particular to Noah Gray in the flat like really bothered me because I think that shows you Noah is good as in vertical routes. Yes. He can attack the middle. He's great in the seams. But if you ask him to take a lateral release and then turn it up vertically, you're not going to get much. His yak provided on those kind of routes is just not there. And I thought that was a poor decision. We have yet to see Tonyan targeted. Am I wrong?
Nope, you're right.
What in the hell are we doing? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I will tell you guys, I understand that we want to take some of those notes, just like the Chiefs. Red zone offense struggled today. They still got past the 50 and found problems. I wrote down WTF Chiefs are back when they had to settle for multiple field goals. Like I want to say that we need to acknowledge that, and that's something they still have to work on. However, 1 punt today. 1 punt. That's it. 1 punt. So
we'll take it.
We can't always just try to drag down these things like that. You have to take it in stride sometimes when success happens. You score 37 points, you punt once, you have some red zone struggles. Yeah, all in a day's work, but you're getting incrementally better at the things that you struggled with last week while still trying to figure something else out. I'm just not sure that their red zone stuff's ever going to get figured out because they are a space-driven offense. Andy Reid schemes players into space. This is not a team that wants to throw. I mean, Patrick kind of did it more today, which I'm excited about, but they're not going to run a fade route. They're not going to run the football. They got down to the 3-yard line and they threw it 3 times. Like, what are we doing here with this? Like, it's just not in their DNA. So I think we need to be just a touch more lenient with the red zone stuff until Rashee Rice comes back. Rashee Rice is the red zone guy. And then when he's there, you're going to start to see some of the space open up elsewhere as well.
Absolutely agree. And hey, kudos to Juwan. We mentioned that, but Perry, thanks for pointing it out. We have a ton of super chats to get to, as well as a couple of my last notes. But before that, we got to do what we got to do. And if you made the right calls this game, you can do it for next game too at ProfitX. ProfitX, America's #1 sports prediction market, is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You will almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, or player prop since you're playing against other people rather than the book. ProfitX offers dual currency system, either Profit Points or Profit Cash, and operates across 40 states. Use the promo code RGR and claim up to $200 in Profit Cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. ProfitX gives you the best lines in the space, and you can even set your own odds on specific wagers on your players, all at ProfitX. Go there and use the code RGR. Terms and conditions apply. And I always make sure that I say that. They do apply. A couple of questions here. We did cover Bucker a little bit. Did they consider a kicker in the draft? Possibly. They've been able to find free agent kickers to give a look at that have turned out to be pretty good. Guys that are now playing for other teams. So I don't think that it has to be a draft pick, but certainly need to start looking at it. And to Dirty's question here, I did look it up during that break. It is 5.8 against the cap next year, 5.7, with an outstanding total of 15.1 still. And those are going to be his years 31, 32, and 33. So it could possibly stay this way. They got to get a lockdown, though, if he's going to see the end of this contract, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm still not to that point with it. Now, if it's every week this year, okay, we have to, but if it levels out and it continues again next year at the beginning and levels out, I guess I don't see them doing that. However, kickers can all of a sudden just, fall off the face of the earth. So,
and they could just magically correct themselves too. You're absolutely right.
Correct.
If this stays this way I agree is what I'm talking about.
That's fair. Okay.
If it isn't corrected. It's been a while since we've seen 37 points in a blowout. You're right, Alex. So I'm glad that we got it today. Thanks for being a member and for helping us out today. Angler, unlock a little bit more Bouchard today too. Yeah, and I thought that while he did run inside once, that I really still don't feel is his thing. At least he did it and he didn't get hurt and he looked like he made contact. I was very impressed with him seeking out contact in those first couple of passes that he caught in order to not be the guy getting hit. Correct. Be the guy that hits and you survive more.
You look at what happened to Nate Wiggins. He was afraid of tackling Isaiah Pacheco in space because he's small. So instead he has to lead with his shoulder go down low and you see his elbow. I think it's an elbow dislocation, which good Lord. We'll find out. Hopefully it's not because he's a fantastic player. Yeah. But when you are initiating contact and you're playing with a good base and leverage, like Rashard Smith, I think he plays with a good base and leverage. You're not going to get hurt as much. You're going to fall forward a little bit more. And also, outside zone. He had an 11-yard gain on outside zone that got called back because the very first snap that Wanya Morris comes in, he gets a holding penalty. Yeah. What are we doing in year 2025?
Yeah. Not much longer. That's what it's going to be. Quentin, are we good or the Ravens that depleted? Yes and yes. It was a bit of a get right, but it was because of the opponents.
That's fair. And again, it's this win isn't necessarily about how the Chiefs executed against a bad offense. It's about the fact that they did execute. They scored 37 points. That's huge for this team that has struggled.
Yeah, I agree. Beach, thank you. And thank you previously as well. 20 looked good, so he agrees on Noah Williams. I think we're all on that page at this point. Mike Wallace, Rashard getting the gamer. Fun thoughts. I'm excited as well. And again, if he can survive inside and do a little bit of where he doesn't have to only come in on third down passing situations, it allows him to be way more multiple and useful to this offense. So I'm looking forward to that. Kudos.
Just one thing that I want to mention about Rashard Smith is that Tony Romo needs to stop blaming receivers for that. He did not. Yes, he dropped the football, but Patrick didn't lead him. He threw the football behind him and made him turn all the way around to catch a football he should have been able to throw in his pocket. Like, blame Patrick when he's deserving. Blame the receiver when they're deserving.
Yeah, let's be real. That's the bottom line. Minotaur, thank you for always spreading the word to our fan base, and thank you for being a member. Folks, if you got a free membership, it's from Minotaur. He hands them out like it's candy, and we appreciate you. That gets you into the chat. You're a member of this chat. You get some extra stuff. If you want to get to the other content, the things we don't say in public, the secrets that we know are going on that we don't always reveal for lack of confirmation, You can find that and our rankings, rantings, and etc. in the memberships. There's a join button down there underneath Dan. So check that out if you want in. Let's see. And he also, no, this is Night Hunter. Good all around win for each phase, looked good. And kudos to special teams outside of the kicks. I thought the coverage teams did great today, and the return teams did great today. So
yeah,
that's a significant up from the phase. I thought it was just middling before.
I'm with you. Sorry.
Caleb, thank you, buddy, for the membership and for your support here. Grateful to not be stressed during a Chiefs game. That is a nice change, isn't it? I agree with you. What was the difference today on offense? Was it just Worthy? I think it was partially Worthy, certainly, especially once he gets going because it backs the defense off. But it was also Juju making some really nice plays. Kels bringing more intensity to actually do the things right, not just be. I think he's been pushing to be overly vocal, to be a leader, more than concentrating on what he's doing in each play. So I think that was an upswing from Kels. I thought you got solid contributions from Thornton and Hollywood being in the roles that they need to be in. Like everybody, this allowed everyone to do their thing. And a lot of that was because Xavier was back. Now, just imagine when they add Rasheed back and life really gets to ticking, is my thought.
This is we have to also remember that Rashee Rice was in the building this week, guys. Rashee Rice was in the building this week. So they felt closer like to a full healthy team. So on top of them playing a little more freely, I think Patrick played a little more freely today. Xavier getting the football early on dictated to the Ravens defense. They said, we are going to get him involved. Look, you have to worry about him. He is not a decoy. It shifted the way that the defense now has to account for him. And it didn't matter. We saw more single high today from the Ravens. And they took it, they threw the football down the field. So the Chiefs accessing those parts of the field and being willing to do so with a guy who just came off of injury was what changed a little bit of the dynamic as well. When you're willing to do something that a team doesn't think you can do, that is what opens it up. And they didn't run the ball extremely effectively with the running backs, but they did give him those jet sweeps. They did have multiple different ways to get the football, quote unquote, Andy Reid runs, a little check down to Travis Kelce that goes for 7, a little check down here, a little screen to Juju. They did different things as well. So they executed those, and that actually it took a lot of pressure off the offense.
Yeah, it's the little things in life that make the offense go. It's also the little things in my life that make it hell sometimes. So thanks, wifey. Nice nerd glasses. We're drinking your whiskey upstairs. Thank you, you ornery sons of. I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't choke. I'm just saying. I'm not there to Heimlich, but we'll talk later. Levi, what's your opinion on not using Rose? I think that's just you didn't need to. The offense was going enough. No need to stress him out yet. Again, and he doesn't want to use a rookie if he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Is Leo getting better in coverage? I'm going to go out on a limb here. And I put this in my notes. You guys will see it. I think Leo Chanel is a better coverage linebacker than Nick Bolton at this point.
Oh yeah. I don't think it's a stretch, guys. I think he is. He can play man coverage. He can carry guys. Nick Bolton can't play man coverage. They attacked him in the middle of the field. They tried to throw it at Leo every time late in the football game. Where was he? Bam. He was there. Bam. He was there. He's making plays. The interception was out of his mind, but everything else was just good, solid defense. Like he's good, guys. He's really good.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch the evolution. Hannah, game balls number 1 for Andy for sticking with the run. Good job, I agree. And thank you, Hannah, for the support and for being here. Not as many ladies these days, got a lot of stuff going on. So cheers to you. Number 2, Bashar for breaking tackles during runs, absolutely. And number 3, Juwan for no penalties, and Xavier bringing it to life. I can't disagree with any of those. I like the way you think, and I like what you said. Donnie, thank you, pal. Appreciate you. First, thanks for educating me on the celebration stuff last stream. Absolutely. The more you know. Yeah, you ain't wrong. Second, did Spags play Omar less, or was it just the matchup thing because it seemed like he wasn't in there? And that's a great question. What did you think?
Yeah, I didn't see a ton of him. I don't know if it's a matchup problem, which, again, we talked a little bit about in the game plan show about how you can match him up with Tyler Linderbaum because he's a little bit more physical and Tyler's a little bit undersized for a center. We didn't see a whole lot of that. Again, I'm going to have to go back and watch the defense to see how much he actually played. But so I can't really answer the question because I don't know. about specifically what it was. All I know is that I didn't notice him at all. Unfortunately, didn't notice Ashton Gelati very much either. So I think the rookies maybe just were a little outmatched in this game on defense outside of Noah Williams.
Yeah, Norman got 16 snaps total. 12 of them were passing downs.
Okay.
26 for Gelati, 19 were passing downs. He did record a tackle. They put him inside a tackle. One of the things I didn't like is putting him inside a DT a lot. Too much for my liking. And like as a change of pace, okay. But especially with that elbow acting up, like I want Ashton on the outside. He did put in a couple things where he had some spin moves back to the inside where the ball was out, but he's making progress and stringing together more of a pass rush plan, and I'm happy to see it.
Yeah.
Black and Gold, thank you. For the love of God, can we please run more outside zone with Smith? Also, we need a much better out of Trey Smith. Am I wrong? What do you think?
A couple of times, Trey Smith was just like on the ground. He missed his block, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's an underlying injury. I do know that he got rolled up on at one point. He kind of limped back to the huddle. We saw that. I don't know if there's something that's happening with him. However, he's not playing up to his standard. He's not playing up to the contract that the Chiefs signed him at this moment. So I don't think you're wrong at all. I think they do need better out of him. And yes, please. I get that Andy Reid still likes Pacheco. He still wants Hunt to have the touches. When Kareem Hunt is got 7 carries for 17 yards, buddy, we need something else. I'm sorry. I understand he's the short yards back and the grind out the game back, but you need to put Rashard Smith in there and give him just a basic outside zone run. Let him do. What did you see from the backup Hill at the end of the game? He took an outside zone run and he cut it back for a touchdown. Guys,
Goofy was gone.
A little bit more, just a little bit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, and we're going to have to see where and when that comes. I am getting the warning here for Locked On. We're going to be live on Locked On with Matt Derrick here coming up in a little bit. So we're going to get through these last couple super chats and wrap it up. Appreciate you, Black and Gold. Thank you very much, and thank you, Brandon. Couldn't believe that I saw Andy go for it on fourth and run up the score. Seems like a nice. Hope that he gets more. I'm sorry, Smith looks nice. That's a very good point that I didn't actually write down because I was a little flabbergasted that Andy went for it that much. But a little killer instinct goes a long way, and I think that can feed into this offense and this whole team dynamic for weeks to come.
Yeah, my wife and I actually talked about this when we were watching the game about how this fourth down isn't just like you go for it to go for it. The Dolphins kind of needs it, right? They need to feel like we're executing. We're going to go for this. We're going to get points on the board. We've been struggling offensively. Let's just keep going for it on fourth down. And when you instill the mentality that it's not just our defense is winning. We're up. We don't need to go for this. Like that stuff can leak into the offense and leak into the team when you don't have to try, when you don't have to want to do that. So I think it was just as much for the mentality of the team as it was for, look, we have to start executing a little bit better. I think it was just also to get their heads right in the same moment.
Yeah, I like that plan. It all comes together as a group. Kay here. I think they'll take this going forward and click with the basics they've been struggling with. Or do you think that that's true? And Pat had a ton of time and couldn't find someone open. He was going to happen against a good defense, or what's going to happen against a good defense? What do you think?
Well, I think that this is something that we've kind of hoped, right? We hope that when you get those basics right, they can actually seep into the team the rest of the time and actually use it against a better defense. Being against a depleted defense sucks for everyone because at the same time you're celebrating, but if you have everyone out there, how does it look? So the run game stuff, I'm going to tell everyone right now, it's probably not going to look very good against a good defense. It's probably still going to look like it struggles. But I do think that finding that confidence in some moments like this where you do finally get the basics down and they run this screenplay here right, or they actually execute in the red zone can absolutely help the confidence for a team that's, as we all know, have won 3 Super Bowls, been to 5. They help get them right, and they can score against any defense as we've seen.
Yeah, I am 100% with you. Thank you, Kay, and thank you, Beach, yet again. 1 game back from division and 95 and his family. Yeah, for him. But yeah, that's the thing is for all the trash that's been talked about the Chiefs and how great the Chargers are. fortunes turn on a single ball game, folks, and the picture changes, and it will continue to. We appreciate you hanging out and helping us out, buddy. Scott Hankins, thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Scott.
Mahomes sharp and decisive. Is it the O-line giving him more time, or Mahomes trusting his QBs, or both? Yes, yes, and yes. And I think it's a little bit more like be a mature quarterback. I think it was probably something from Andy as well.
I mean, as at the same time, I think Andy doesn't really help Patrick out in that much anymore in terms of that moment, because they've done it for so long now. And sometimes Patrick just has to look himself in the mirror and say, it's there. Let me sit in the pocket. You can only, Andy can only say so much to him. Like, Patrick has to see it for himself. And I think that this was the moment where he was like, I have to let this offensive line believe in me. Because when the offensive line believes in you, that you're going to stand into a pocket, that when they're going back and watching tape and this pocket is fine and he's leaving it, this pocket's fine, they're like, man, what do we have to do here? So I think that just as much as the offensive line has to have the confidence in themselves, they have to have the confidence that Patrick's going to sit in a pocket that they give him and execute. And that's what he did today.
Yeah. And hopefully this is a track that he can do it again and again and again and again. We appreciate it. A couple more super chats and questions, and we will get out. But want to say thank you, Dirty. Appreciate you always supporting Locked On as well. If you guys would go over there, if you would leave a thumbs up before you leave this chat, that would be great. I very much appreciate it here. Frankie, remember, believe in the helmet. This is the way. Yes, Grogu, it is. Scott, did the defense make Lamar quit today? I can't tell you. It was suspect. I won't be able to tell you, though. We'll see what he has to say about it.
I will not speculate. Speculate.
Strung out. I hope that you're stringing less. That 3rd and 1 challenge was crucial. Yeah, I mean, it changes the momentum completely if that outcome is different. So that's a good point. And I didn't even point that out. So thanks for bringing it up. And I appreciate you strung out. Hopefully the aggression there remains, because I want that to be the takeaways. Continue, as my camera doesn't like these new glasses, evidently. The camera and the wife's kind of a pain about it, but you can't. Never mind. I'm not even going to say that. Nice to see a stress-free Graham, Knicks fan, and I appreciate you. That's something we haven't had in quite a bit, right?
It's the last time. Think back. It wasn't even last year, because they won every game by like a little margin. They have not won a game that was a blowout or even comfortable since 2024. 2023. It's been since 2023.
It's crazy. It's nuts. Kyle, welcome to the memberships. I hope you have a blast. Make sure you join at the rookie level or above if you want all the extra content. That will come its own way. Of course, as I'm starting to sign off, Daryl pops in, one of our oldest members. Nice to see you, Daryl, and thanks, pal. Did our offense look good, or was it the Ravens just looking bad? Again, I still feel it's a bit of both, but it felt like the clicking that this offense was doing was real.
Agreed. And that's all it is mentality at this point, guys. It's mentality. The Chiefs, they run it every day in practice. They do all this stuff on a repetitive basis that it gets to a point where sometimes you just go through the motions. This was a day where they clicked a little bit. They felt it. They are going to feel it, and that's going to carry through. And that's the big thing for this is, yes, the Ravens defense hurt, struggling, one of the worst in the NFL. And if you can't do that against one of the worst defenses in the NFL, well, you have some real problems. You need to beat bad teams. Today, the Ravens were a bad football team, and the Chiefs showed everyone they were a bad football team.
Yeah, if you couldn't beat them today and their mounting injuries, you should go play tennis or something. I don't know what else to tell you. It's the way it is. Des, welcome. Appreciate you. Nearly 30 months. Seemed like Harbaugh quit at the end. I can see why you would say that. I'm not going to speculate that he did either, other than he probably knows when he's run out of time to get Andy. So that might just be an experience thing, but you can only do what you can do. Y'all are killing it with this breakdown. Look forward to the live stream. Thank you, Caroline. It's nice to see you back. Daryl, don't you even worry about it, dude. You got the timing, so you have got the timing down, and that's all that matters. Thank you guys both. Thank you, Dan. Say hi to the family. Thank them for letting us borrow you for this hour, and have a good night.
Absolutely. Tell the Wi-Fi I said keep it up, by the way. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm going to go investigate that in my 2 minutes before we get over to Locked On. We'll see you all over there, and we'll see you for the Q&A tomorrow night. Dan, thank you very much. You all have a great day. Hit this one, like, sub, and hit the bell and all that good stuff, and we'll check you next.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more, and subscribe to RGR Football.